and I'm the District Director for Congressman Tom Reed. And again, want to thank you all for coming out for this dedication of the Zachary D. Smith Post Office Building sign. This is something that is a little unusual, being able to get the sign actually up on the outside of the office, so that for time immemorial, everybody going by will be able to think of the sacrifice of Zach and what he did for this community. We do have several notable folks up here with me. The most important, of course, being Zach's parents, Chris and Kim, and his other members of their family. So thank you so much for taking part in this with us today. Congressman Reed is here representing the 23rd Congressional District. Sarah Clark is the Deputy State Director for United States Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, without whose teamwork between the House and the Senate, which is something I think we need more of in Washington, we were able to get this done. Michelle Smith representing the City of Hornell, the City Chamberlain is here. And the Mayor very much wanted to be here. Obviously he's a neighbor of the Smiths and been very supportive of this process as well, but he had prior engagements. Hornell City Councilman John Buckley will be making some remarks from Joe Ricalto, who is the Chief of Staff for Congressman Eric Massa. As everybody knows, this has been a long-term process, and it's spanned multiple congressional terms. Sharon Moore, representing State Senator Tom O'Mara, is up here with us. I also talked with Assemblyman Noje and Assemblyman Palmisano, and they very much wanted to be here as well, but Albany is in session today, so they also send their best. Representing the Post Office, we have District Manager Kathleen Burns, Marketing Manager Diane Minio, and Karen, I'm going to butcher the name, Mizerkowicz, the Western Communications Director for the United States Post Office. And obviously this is their facility, and at the end of the day, we're putting it on their building, so we really do appreciate them being willing to do this for us. And then representing the United States Marine Corps, we have Captain Peter Schick, who is kind enough to spend some time with us today. As we all know, that was the branch of service that Zach served. So we'll try and keep this short and sweet so people can go back to work and get out of the cold. But first I want to bring up Sarah Clark, Deputy State Director for United States Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, to make some remarks on behalf of the Senator.
Well, thank you for having me here today. The Senator is actually grounded in D.C. today. The weather's been so bad that most of the flights up into New York were canceled. But on her behalf, I have very short remarks. Between her and our office, and the Congressman and his staff, this has been a long time in coming. We were happy to be a part of it, and to see it today come finally to fruition after 3 years that we've been doing this. It's wonderful to see. You know, I work in a federal building that has a name on it, so the fact that this had to be a struggle was kind of ironic, seeing as most federal buildings put names on it. So to see it now is really great, and the Senator was happy to be a part of it, and we were glad to do it of your son. So thank you.
As Sarah just said, this is a long time coming. It's spanned over 3 years, and at the time of Zach's death, Eric Massa was the congressman, and his chief of staff at the time, Mr. Ricalto, was a native of Hornell. He very much wanted to be here. He did a lot of the preliminary legwork towards getting this accomplished, but he did send remarks to be read by City Councilman John Buckley.
Before I get to Joe's remarks, I just want to say a few things about Zach on behalf of Wegmans and the folks at the Hornell Wegmans that work with them. I got to know Zach during his high school years when he was an employee on the front end of Wegmans. And, you know, at Wegmans we have core values. And of the core values, I picked out one to talk about today, and that's making a difference. And Zach, whether it was at Wegmans or in the military or in just everyday life really made a difference. He made a difference in everyone's life that he touched, whether it was a customer coming through the checkout, whether it was his mom and dad, brothers and sisters, his wife, or the folks in the Marines that he served with. Zach really made a difference in every way possible. And there's not a day that goes by that we don't all miss him up in this day. Joe Ricalto, who was so instrumental in getting this sign on this building, it's been a long road. He couldn't be here today. He reached out to me and asked me to read his remarks, and I was honored to do so. And he sent me 3 pages, so bear with me. Big Chris, big Chris. Those in government know that tragedy often defines and directs action. That is often goodwill is a result of tragedy. Today is proof of that. Since 1859, when Chicago's South Ashland Avenue's post office was designated the Seaver Chavez Post Office, honoring the iconic civil rights leader, no names have ever been permitted to be placed on the outside facade. Today, that all changes. Today, here in Hornell, the first ever postal facility will proudly display the name of what the United States Congress and President Obama directed it to be called, the Zachary D. Smith Post Office Building. The culmination of this long, uphill fight did not come easily. Many people devoted countless hours to making this day possible. Former Congressman Eric Massa, Congressman Joel Crowley, Congressman Tom Reed, Senator Gillibrand, President Obama, Joseph Linsky, and Mariana Pugliese. While none of us wish we had to be here today, we are here because 2 people chose to fight on their son's behalf. On the behalf of all servicemen and women. Chris and Kim Smith never asked for this fight. That said, I'm glad they chose this fight. Candidly speaking, Zach's death exposed a terrible injustice that needed to be corrected. As his mom and dad, you found the inner energy to correct this injustice. While it's a sore victory, because of your efforts, hundreds of families from across the United States can point to Hornell and Zach and use us and him as an example to correct their own injustice. Chris and Kim, I know you often say Zach never gave up. While that is true, the brutal reality is the 2 of you have to live with the pain of not only the loss, but with the daily reminder that his service to the United States remains bigger than our fight. I want to thank you both for enduring the pain of losing your son and looking at the greater good. For the entire Smith family, please stand. Thank you. In closing, I'm reminded by Margaret Mead's famous quote, It's truly fitting to celebrate this occasion. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
Thank you, John. And pass along to Joe our thanks for sending along his remarks. I do want to say one thing before I bring up the Congressman. I want to explicitly thank the Department of Public Works of the City of Hornell. When I went in there last week, I asked them to close the street, put up a pavilion. I just had to say it was for Zach, and they didn't ask any more questions. And that's emblematic of the spirit of this city when it comes to the Smith family. So I just want to, take a moment to say something nice about that too. Our final speaker before we bring up the Smith family is United States Congressman Tom Reed, representing the 23rd District of the State of New York.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming out today in the weather that has not cooperated with us today. But it is a testament to you and this community to see the number of people that came out in this freezing rain to stand with us to honor one of our true American heroes, and that is Zach Smith. Now, I will tell you, when I became a member of the United States House of Representatives, I met many people. And 2 of the people that I met were Chris and Kim. And I remember standing here when we came together as a community and recognized the naming of this post office. And I remember going back to the Smith's house and sitting in your kitchen and saying, we can do better. I'm here today to tell you, when I promised you that we would do whatever we could to make sure that we saw Zach Smith's name on this post office, that it would be done. And it's a testament to everybody involved. Senator Gillibrand, give her our thanks. To the team approach that we adopted in order to accomplish what you see here today. And it was a commitment from people like Joe Ricalto and the Smith family day to day working together to make sure that this was accomplished. Now, I really didn't think it was going to take an act of Congress to get this done. But let me tell you, it almost did. And we were committed to getting that taken care of. But the United States Post Office worked with us and, to me, did the right thing. And that is forever to recognize the sacrifices, Zach's, that he did for all of us. He went, volunteered, and served us in a proud and honorable way. And as I said that one day when we were here a few years ago, now every time we walk into this building, every time a son or daughter who wasn't even born when Zach Smith paid the ultimate sacrifice, there will be a moment that I shared with my son when I brought my son here that maybe they'll be able to enjoy with their kids. And to say, this is what it's all about. This is what it means to be an American, is to stand with our men and women in armed services who paid the price so that we are free. And let this sign on this post office demonstrate for generations that we will never, ever forget, and we are forever indebted to people like Zach Smith, to Chris and Kim, and Zach's entire family. And I again promise here today, we will never, ever forget. And we will always be here with you as a community and stand shoulder to shoulder in anything you shall need. Thank you. So it's with my great pleasure and honor to bring up to the podium Zach's parents, who I think Chris is going to represent the family today. And Chris, just on behalf of all of us, God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. As I look out, I see the same faces that were here back in September 2010 when it was like 150 degrees. Everybody was sweltering and begging me to hurry up so that they could get into their air conditioning. Thank you very much. You guys don't know what the community means to me. You were all the ones that signed the petition that kind of started this. You know, we were hoping for 5,000 signatures, and we had well over 5,000. And I'm sure probably everybody here was on that petition. I'd like to keep this short and sweet. I just want to make sure I thank everybody, which obviously is going to be impossible. I'll miss somebody, and for those that I miss, I apologize. But first of all, Gable Signs, who donated all the lettering for the signs. I believe it's Eric Crow and Paul Gable. Joe Ricalto, who was instrumental in starting all this, when him and Eric Mason showed up basically days after Zach was killed and asked us if we would like them to start whatever it takes to get the post office named after Zach. I'd like to thank Congressman Reed and his staff, Joe Sumpliniski, who's been on the phone nonstop with Kim and making all this happen, along with Joe Ricalto, Marianne Gildebrand and her office and her staff, and Kristen, I'm sorry.
Marianne,
yeah, I got the names. Mariana Puglisi, who was part of her staff. United States Marine Corps, the city of Hornell, which took over. They kind of, when people were putting the donations, it was sent to the city hall, and Michelle Smith took care of the money part, and Sean Hogan. My friends, family, obviously the community, again, everybody that signed that petition, everybody that's been here all 3 times that we've done a dedication, all Zach's friends. The Postal Service, the Postmaster General, I'm sure the Smiths are getting to be a real pain in your butt, and we apologize if we've been an inconvenience to you. We certainly didn't mean to be. We just wanted to see you name. When I showed up here at the first dedication, I was at the state fair, and I showed up with my uniform and everything on because I had to run from Syracuse to Hornell and back to Syracuse. And I just thought automatically his name was going to be on the building. I had no idea that it wasn't. And then when I got here, I said, well, where's his name? And they said, well, his name isn't going to be on the building. So that's kind of what started it. And then every time a Marine would come that maybe served with Zach or was friends with Zach or just came to pay the respects, they always wanted to see two things. They wanted to see the cemetery and this stone, and they wanted to see the post office. And every single one of them, when we brought it down here, they said, well, where's his name? And we said, well, his name's not on it. So that was kind of our driving force. It wasn't just that we wanted to see it on there. Every time somebody came here that wanted to pay their respects to Zach, they said, well, where's his name? So that was kind of, again, our driving force. And we had certain people that were right there to watch our back, and we just appreciated it. And also anybody that donated for the letters. Again, the letters were donated, but we had to pay for the installation and the labor, and all that money that you kind people donated in Zach's name to City Hall, that's responsible for putting the letters up. So, again, thanks again for the third time, everybody. We appreciate it, and you guys all mean a ton to my family. And without all of you, this hell that we live in would be unbearable. So thank you very much.
So once again, thank you to everybody for coming, braving the weather, and just in closing, to the Smith family, on behalf of the entire community, the entire congressional district, the entire state, we appreciate your sacrifice. We appreciate what Zach did for his country, and now we've assured that we will never forget. And thank you for being willing to take part in this ceremony. So, thank you everybody for coming. We really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.